I think it's funny how Heather keeps trying to say that everyone and their brother helped us survive when we first came back home to Logansport. Yeah, right. No one paid 1 red cent towards our upkeep. I paid it all. Apparently she forgot that I worked at T.M. Morris. God, what a moron. During my teenage years and the few months I was back home, from February of 2000 to August of 2000. That's how long we were home. Or was it might have been October of 2000. That's how long we were home before Heather decided to attack me and Trisha because I dared to ask her for an outfit to dress Trisha to get her ready for daycare, committing the ultimate sin of doing it while she was watching TV. I must be tired. My eyes drooping. A friend of mine and I were talking about that today. A friend from New York City. And she made the comment that Heather is obsessed with me. I'll say that because almost every video she makes on her channel, she drags my name through the mud. Every time. Meanwhile, I've made videos about my animals, about what I've been doing, and yeah, about my obnoxious neighbor. I don't talk about Heather all the time, like she says I do. And to show her paranoia, that, oh, I'm scared of Misty. She's said that she's going to come to Logansport and beat me up, only in her hallucinations. And I have no interest in going to Logansport and taking revenge. I just want her to leave me the fuck alone and stop lying about me. I have always done for myself, ever since I was 13. When I took that newspaper job, I started buying my own clothes, my own school supplies, even a lot of my own food. By the time I got to my restaurant job at age 16, home had only become a place to sleep. Nothing more. I didn't eat there anymore. I didn't spend time with the family anymore. I was pretty much on my own. My transportation was my bicycle. I got to where I needed by my bike or on my own 2 feet. So by the time I was 19 and getting ready to go in the Air Force, I was working at Walmart. I could have gotten my own place. In fact, in a sense, I did. I got out on my own with the military. By the time I was 21, less than 21, but 20, I had my own place, completely to myself. Unfortunately, I made the dumb mistake of starting a relationship with LaMonte and getting engaged to him while I was in the military. Dumb move. Really dumb move. I should have stayed on my own. But love is dumb and blind, especially when you're young. I should have listened when I heard the word run in my head. My girls could have had a much better father. In fact, my twins might have made it into this world. But woulda, shoulda, couldas. I can't believe Heather's spreading the rumor that everybody and their brother supported us when we were home. No one supported us. I supported us. LaMonte had the job at the gas station for all of 1 month. And then he got fired and never tried again. Of course, that's the way it was through all of our marriage, me supporting us. I bought every car. I bought the house. He never bought a single thing except his drugs. Is it any wonder I fell into gaming on the computer to escape from him? Because whenever I was home, he's screaming and hollering and just doing anything he can to abuse us. Coming up with plot after plot to sell my house. Just because he wanted more drug money. That's all it was. No good father would make their kids live in an unstable life. But he certainly did. Even after we had stability in housing, he continued to cause all kinds of instability in their lives, emotionally, mentally. I mean, constantly abusing them. And it turns out, while the kids were in foster care, that it turns out that he was even letting them be abused sexually while I was at work. No, I'm glad those 3 abusers are out of my life. LaMonte, Marissa, and Heather. I should have listened when I heard the word run screamed in my head. The thing I hate the most is Heather actually applauded that behavior. But I'm not surprised about that either, considering how she used to get Dad to beat me when she would steal from me. And she would sit in the other room and laugh about it. No, no one ever supported me. In fact, I did most of the supporting of myself when I was a teenager. The only thing home became was a place to put my head at night. In the middle of my route, Jimmy Ionelli would give me a free pop, especially if it was a hot day. After I was done with my route, I often went over to Hardee's to get some chicken nuggets. That was my after route snack. I didn't want to go home yet. Or I would often continue training on my bike. If I had civic players that night, I'd go straight over there. Anything to stay away from home. If I had a date with Daniel, I was out immediately with him. By the time I was 14, maybe 15, Daniel was often taking me around. If he didn't have football practice, that is. So. Heather, she'd just sit at home on her big fat butt and do nothing. Dad would occasionally take me around, especially if the weather was bad. Mom? No. Mm-mm. I can't remember any time she did, except maybe once after I'd injured my knee, and she insisted I continue running with a hole cut into my knee. I don't know. That's just ridiculous. From what I understand, T.M. Morris is no longer in business. It's funny how a lot of places that I worked at no longer exist. Haps, the Gyro restaurant, the old Walmart. They've moved in, they've become a supermarket Walmart in another location. T.M. Morris is gone. Meshingamesha is gone. I don't know. It's about the only ones left out of the group that I worked for are Air Force, Lockheed Martin, Walmart, and Advance Auto. Lance's is gone. Marsh's is gone. Sears is gone. Chronicle Tribune is way marked down. Way downsized, I should say. In fact, they had to move out of the building they were in downtown. They're somewhere else now, I don't know where. Actually, my unit with the Air Force is no longer even Air Force. It's Space Force. So, In fact, I had even heard rumors before it turned to Space Force that the Air Force was thinking about shutting down the mountain. Grissom, where Mom worked, it's only maybe a quarter, maybe half the size it once was. Everything changes. Now that Chris and I can use the BX and commissary over at Grissom, we're talking about making more trips over there. One of the few good things Trump did, making it re-accessible to us disabled veterans. Heather, though, she's saying she's going to go to Indiana Beach after putting Indiana Beach down as bad as she did when it was about to be closed down and it was bought by Gene. Slamming me for being one of the hundreds who stood up for it. Why does she want to save a rundown old amusement park that no one even goes to anymore? That's what she said on Kiwi Farms. But now she's crowing that she's going to start going back. Hypocrite. I don't know, it's crazy. We all have that family member in our family, don't we? Showing her paranoia. I'm scared of Misty. She's gonna come back and take her revenge on me. Ooh. What a pussy. A 6'3", 400-pound woman afraid of a 5'4", 220-pound woman. But I'm not the one with battery convictions on my record. That would be Heather Renee Ray. Oh yeah.